A big portion of adrenaline is brought to you by LAMAX Electronics, general partner LAMAX Grand Prix of Czech Republic. The main partner of the LAMAX Grand Prix of the Czech Republic is Beto Company Storage Systems. Partners of WSC are Peugeot, TrueCam, BO Oil, Motorsport TV and Zabel.
Look out for Hermans. They're the pole position man, Marvin van Leeuwen. Watch out for Hermans. He'll be coming through the number 5 rider. Watch out for Julian Veldman carrying the number 10. Watch out for Stuart Brown and Joe Millard with a left-hand sidecar, number 4 on the Husqvarna. There are 12 4-stroke engines lined up here, so predominantly 2 strokes, predominantly Zabel. There's one Mega engine, which is made in Austria, but here we go. Tension building. We'll get a 15-second board. We'll get a 5-second board. They cannot touch that gate or it will not drop.
This is the very tense time now. They're concentrating on the board, into gear.
That's the 5-second board. When they sneak down, watch Van Leeuwen. Down goes the gate and he's away. Everybody's safely away, but look at Van Leeuwen from the left. Has he got the hold shot? Yes, he has. But Giro got a flyer. Giro took the wide line. Giro looked as though he slotted into about 4th place. The pole position man leads. Van Leeuwen, it is leading. Valentin Giro right up there. 3rd place for Giro.
Yes.
What a cracking start for him. They've got to sort this first lap out. This can get really, really tricky. They're all slowly round. There he is, look, the young Belgian.
I was trying to look for Brown. There's Giro. Yep, there's Stuart there. He must be in just inside the top 10, I think, just as they drop down that big leap. So you have Marvin van Leeuwen in first, Julian Veldman in second.
There's Giro.
Giro. I'm not sure, I think that might be the Kunas brothers. Stuart inside Arne Derkins there into that tight right-hander. Wilkinson has gone through. Hermans is there, mid-pack.
Well, he's fighting through. So the number 5, Kern Hermans, they're the race leaders. Over this big jump, high in the air. Now, into the left-hander, Passenger throws himself over the back. In the case of the British ones, they will, of course, be hanging out of the sidecar. I saw Stuart Brown briefly there as well. Look at that. High in the air. This is so quick here. They were doing 1:49s, the fast men, in practice. And of course, as this digs out, those times are going to come down. But Marvin van Leeuwen leads with Ben van den Bogart, the number 9, over the tabletop, down the other side. Julian Veldman with that 4-stroke Husky, so 2-stroke lead, 4-stroke second, 4-stroke third.
And it's another 4-stroke, it's the Kunas brothers.
So,
which is they've had a very good start. Very good start.
Well, Valentin Giro needs to score some decent points here. He's got Johnny Bader, who he won the French Championship race with recently in the sidecar. There is Stuart Brown and Joe Millard. There is Etienne Bax. Etienne Bax had a shocker. He's in mid-pack. There's Brett Wilkinson fighting through. You can see the tear-offs being ripped off because these guys are getting filled in with the mud. There was extensive watering before the off. What a sport. Just imagine this. Oh, the speed downhill. Unbelievable. Not for the faint-hearted, is it, this? Goodness me.
They are coming down there, I think, in top. They've got to be doing a good 55 miles an hour. They are just brave men.
Okay, who have we got in 4th? I'm desperately trying to get my live timing working here.
It is the Kunas brothers, riding number 14. It's Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider behind them in 5th. Massive jump there from Julian into this big sweeping left-hander. So they go back up the hill towards this big ski jump. I was watching yesterday and they have to be jumping a good 30, 40, 50 feet maybe.
Well, my laptop is playing ball. No, it's not. I'm sorry about that. Okay, well, it's got to be visual, folks. There, Etienne Bax and Kasper Stupilis.
So you have the Kunas brothers, Weiss, Sanders, Bax, Van Werven, and then Stu Brown and Joe Millard there inside the top 10. So as you can see, the passengers working hard to keep that chair wheel down onto the floor and making it easy for the drivers.
Well, there's no doubt about it that Van Leeuwenen has come of age. You know, we saw him over the last 2 seasons getting better and better, but this young Belgian with a 16-point lead at the top of the table knows how important it is to maintain that lead. Now my live timing has popped up. We're quite right. 5th, we've got Benjamin Weiss. 6th, Davy Sanders. Van Werven is in 7th. Stuart Brown is in 8th. Etienne Bax up to 9th. Arne Dierkens in 10th. Christoph Sanderman's 11th. And Kolenčík, first of the Czech riders, is in 12th place. So that's a popular position. No sign yet of Cermak because they are fighting their way through. Kurt Varrick is in 17th place. But the gap now, well, trailing by about 2 seconds. It's visual for sure, but this track is surprisingly, they're not running away. I thought we'd see them spread out, but they're not. They're staying very much together.
The times all weekend have been very, very close from the top down to into the top, you know, top 10s and even down into the 15s. So I think the track suits. It does suit obviously the right-hand chairs. But no, they are sticking together.
Here we go. Watch this. Aviation supreme. Look at the jumps. Look at the speed. And Etienne Bax, just think of those shoulders strapped together. My goodness me, it's making my eyes water just thinking about it. Stuart Brown tucking on the inside there. Hard to get the power down on a right-hander with a left-hand chair.
It's and that corner there, you can either go high up. But of course, you're leaving yourself wide open on the inside for somebody to nip through on the inside.
Stuart Brown and Joe Millard in 9th place as we speak. 2 places ahead of them, the number 82. You're watching him periodically. Etienne Bax, they're the race leader. Marvin Van Leeuwenen and Ben van den Boogaard away with it from Julian Veldman, but the gap is still only 2 seconds. And right with them now, Valentin Giraud. This is where the battle is. The blue-shirted, red-helmeted Frenchman. French pair, actually, French men. Front brake binding up.
I just noticed that is also on the screen.
As his front wheel went in the air, the front wheel stopped. So it looks to me as though the front brake has got a little bit of friction. Won't matter too much, unless there's a stone stuck in the disc or something.
As long as it doesn't boil the oil, and then of course we'll have no front brake.
Yep.
And here is a big front brake. Coming down these big drops into these corners, you need your front brake.
Kunas ahead of Benjamin Weiss. There's Etienne Bax. It's only a matter of time, I think. If you watch Etienne Bax, he's favouring that shoulder. You can see that the man is in pain. He's making the best of a bad job. And frankly, Steve, my heart goes out to him because this ain't funny.
No, the man is brave, and as you say, I also take my hat off to him. These boys, to do this for 30 minutes plus 2 laps with injuries like he's carrying is just phenomenal.
Shocking. There, Brown and Millard, number 4. They're holding their position. In fact, they might even claw one back here. No.
Yeah, he's pressurising Gert Van Werven there. But again, as I say, it sort of favours the right-hand chair, so he has to. There goes Etienne Bax making the pass on Benny Weiss.
He's up to 5th.
Yeah, just made that pass.
He's now up to 5th.
And looks as though Stuart has just taken Gert Van Werven. We will see as he pops out over the crest. No.
Yeah, and now Bax is on the heels of Riku Kunas.
Yep.
The Finnish pair.
Again,
Riku and Larry Kunas, the Finn brothers.
Yeah, young guys.
Oh, you know, you feel, and I've been there, when you're in a slow corner like that, it feels like you've stopped and you feel the world is going to come rushing by. But of course, everybody's in the same boat.
Exactly. And it makes it even worse as the left chairs and the right chairs, some of the corners, they have the advantage. You make all that ground.
Goodness me, Stuart Brown took some air time there. The front wheel was high in the air, came down with a terrific thud. There is Stuart Brown and Joe Millard.
And I think he's going to start pressurising Hermans, I think.
But Hermans must have passed him, because he must have made his way through from the second row.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at Hermans' times. Fastest lap, 150.7 is the best I've got. A 149.1 for Van Leeuwen.
Right. Yeah.
So Hermans is not circulating at the same lap speed. Brown's time, he's a 151 as well. So Hermans is a bit quicker.
Yeah. Looks as though there's a bit of a gap now between Bax and Kunas.
You can see how Stuart Brown looked across at Joe there and said something. He made that tight line, turned across.
Sanders, sorry to butt in, I think
right.
Sanders has a problem. As he came past the pit box there, he was pointing at the front wheel, whether he has brake problem or something is wrong with the front wheel, I don't know.
That's the number 11 crew we're talking about. Davy Sanders and Andres Haller.
But as you see here, the first three are still close.
They really are. We've only got, well, it's not a fat lot in it, it's visual, so I won't even talk about time splitting up. Valentin Giro, if Johnny Badair can go the distance, and that is the question mark, this is a guy who is not used to Grand Prix race distance. He's been riding very well, very successfully in the French National Championship, and has proved his worth with Valentin Giro scoring valuable points. But I question whether the Frenchman is able to be as aggressive as he would ordinarily with Elvis.
No, I don't think so. I think he is definitely having to think with his riding and protect Johnny to make him last the distance. It's a long race, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. It's a long race to keep going. Of course, these passengers are working so hard. They are possibly some of the top athletes that you will ever get to meet.
Race leader, number 9, Marvin van Leeuwen and Ben van den Bogart. It all hinges, of course, on mechanical reliability, and so far, and I hope I'm not putting the kiss of death on it, they have been flawless with their machine preparation. They've finished every race, not for nothing are they sitting on the top of the table. And this young man is so focused. He's 20 going on 55, you know. He is so mature in his head, so focused. That is true of most of the young Dutchmen as well. They're old beyond the years because they start at such a tender age. Etienne Bax and 110.
It's Jake Brown.
Jake Brown.
So whether he's had a problem is being lapped, I presume he is being lapped. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Jake Brown is right down the order. He's in 30th place on the timesheet.
Oh dear, he's had a problem.
So young Jake Brown, Stuart Brown's son, being lapped by Etienne Bax. But fair play. Your day will come, young Jake, I promise you.
Yes, and the way he's been riding, fair play to him.
There he is. And Zach Snell doing the business, holding down the third wheel when it's required. Certainly stylish. Chip off the old block, I have to say.
Yes, they are. I think if you put them both together, I think you will see the similarities there, of course. So Kunas now coming under pressure from Koen Hermans, with the Frenchman Nico Masset in the chair, and I think, has he got the drive out?
Well, Masset, the French passenger there, world champion, of course, with Etienne Bax last year. So Koen Hermans has got a bit of class alongside him. He's got the reigning world champion sidecar passenger who actually announced his retirement from World Championship racing at the end of last season on the basis that he was fed up with the travelling and it was too far from him to go to France, to Holland, to train and all the rest of it. Well, clearly he's had a rethink.
Clearly he has, and the pair of them seem to be working very well. Of course, Koen being the Dutchman is very at home in the deep sand, and of course Nico Masset with the hard packs in France. They make a great pair and are riding well together.
Got a best of both worlds there in terms of experience.
There's Stuart. Stuart's there now. He's past Weiss. So Sanders, I think, with that problem we said earlier, I think has gone.
Look at Hermans on the inside then, the number 5 crew. The 20-year-old Dutchman. Number 5. Spoke to him yesterday at the end of qualifying and he was mightily relieved that he'd actually made it to the grid. As I said earlier, with that mechanical problem, it could easily have been a no-show for Hermans, and sitting second in the table, that would have been an absolute catastrophe for him. but he's here doing the business. But he is really pressing the number 14 now of Riku Kunas. There's Stuart Brown and Joe Millard making their way up. They are now in 8th position, the British crew.
There's a bit of a gap there between Bax, I think, and Kunas. Kunas, I think, is slightly holding Hermans up. He's going to go for the inside.
He's got
He's got it.
Made it stick. And I tell you, that is not as easy as it looks. He had to drive it on an adverse camber.
Exactly.
Total faith in the passenger. He had to have total faith in the passenger. He drove it on an adverse camber, and that gave him the impetus to slip through the inside.
He's tried that. He's tried that a couple of times on that particular corner, and now hopefully Stuart can cross that gap to Kunas and climb another place.
Just so high in the air.
Oh, Sanders is still there.
Bax is up to 4th place now, but he's some distance off the back of Valentin Giraud. The top 3 are easing away, but I've watched Stuart Brown over the last 18 months, and he gets quicker as the race goes on.
Yes, and he's just taken the inside. Oh, no. So they'll go to this next turn as they climb up this little bank onto the start straight.
Yeah, well, he can smell blood. He knows he's got him. It's only a matter of time. Stuart knows that he's got him, and now he's chasing Hermans. If he gets on the inside here,
yes,
that's it, done. Stuart Brown and Joe Millard, through they go.
Stood the passenger up, just drove up underneath the passenger and made him sit up so the driver couldn't put the power on. Oh, no, Joe's out. No.
Joe Millard down over the side there. What was that?
Looks as though Joe had fallen through the front. Hopefully he's okay and they can carry on.
Goodness me, that's drama. We're looking at the top 3 again now. We're looking at Giraud closing on the back of Julian Feldman, using all of his experience to bring that AMS 4-stroke home and preserve his passenger. We need to get back to look at what happened with Stuart Brown, but at the moment they're still credited with 7th place. But the move they made, I think it's just looked like a slip on Joe's part.
Possibly looked like a slip. That's very quick going up into that right-hander before you go up into the top left-hand corner. That's a tricky corner, and if you get it wrong, it's, yeah, so...
Bit of body language there, an anxious glance over the shoulder from Julian Feldman. He knows Giraud is coming. This would be an important set of points for Valentin Giraud if he could bring it home and pick up 22 here for the runner-up spot. 25 for the win, 22, then it's 20, then it's 18. That's the way they score. So goes all the way down to 20 points in this sport. So huge encouragement for everybody to keep going. Every point counts, as we say.
And Marvin van Lukenen there he's got a couple of seconds gap there.
But he's not running away with it.
He's not running away with it. And as I say, we have, what are we left? 15 minutes maybe left.
Oh, goodness me, are we really? It seems like I've been sat in here all day. We are, ladies and gentlemen, in the front of this wonderful outside broadcast unit in Kremlin in the Czech Republic, but the commentary booth is the cab of the articulated lorry which brought the truck here. Having said that, we've got all the equipment, we've got a full-size monitor, we've got live timing courtesy of my Czech colleague in the next commentary truck who's doing a Czech version.
I haven't seen the LAMAX circulating, I must admit.
Well, so they are up to 17th on the timing screen, so they're still going. 8 laps completed, yeah, they're still on the pace. There they are. No. Oh, Stuart Brown and Joe Millard still going, but they are behind Benjamin Weiss.
They've just taken another spot, just taken that spot back, so he's got to fight his way back through to make the grain from where he was.
Weiss, though, having a go, but Stuart Brown has got the place. So having to work all over again, Stuart Brown and Joe Millard, but they're still going. Look at Weiss on the inside. Can't get the drive there, though. The left-hand chair will be quicker round there. There's Brown. There's Weiss.
Absolutely phenomenal the way they jump through these, attack these circuits.
Now that seems so slow, but that's the only line Stuart Brown can take. That tight inside line. The Husqvarna bites. it hooks up and it drives. And I heard him on the start-finish straight yesterday. In the road race world, we call it short shifting. He was getting into a high gear as early as he could, because obviously that's where the torque is in that engine. It punches up the straight.
Of course, yes, you need to get that power down onto that back wheel as soon as you possibly can, and that's, of course, why the passengers have to work so hard to get that drive. Because without the passengers working hard, the bikes will go nowhere.
Arne Dierkens, a Luke Rostang, number 85. Dierkens is quick, this young Belgian as well, and his French passenger equally competent. They've given a good account of themselves so far this season, and they've got the ability to run fast. Oh, that looked like there's a bit of a bog down there. Not sure what happened.
I think they went wide and into that into the loose stuff there, into that deep berm. It's Gert Van Werven, with Jans Maas in the chair,
with Arne Dierkens right behind him. So Dierkens, there's that fearsome downhill drop.
So there you
Shake
see.
your teeth out. There's Brown on the inside. He's going to make a move there. He's going to grab that place back.
Yeah.
He's on the back of Davy Sanders again, the number 11 crew.
Again, he's got to take his time and read what's happening and try and attack as much as he possibly can.
Arne Dierkens, Luke Rostang, 85, pushing as hard as they can.
And that's the in front of them, Gert Van Werven riding the TM motored sidecar, which is the only one in the race today.
Italian built,
of course.
TM famous for their speedway engines, among other things, but
go-karts also, I think.
and karts. You're right, absolutely right. Yeah.
So you see the drivers there fighting hard to get that bike stopped and into the corner before they attack that table.
Gert Van Werven, the Dutchman, with Jens Maas, his Belgian passenger. Still ahead of Arne Dierkens and Luke Rostang. There is Dierkens. It's at this point in the race, 11 laps completed, when the fatigue begins to set in and it really sorts the men out from the boys, if I can say that in the nicest possible way. Julian Veldman, one of the boys, being chased by undoubtedly one of the men in this championship. The Frenchman Valentin Giraud, who's just an absolute lionheart, isn't he?
He is, and he is only 28. Yeah, they are just incredible guys. The work they do and the effort they put in for this sport is just phenomenal.
In Spain, when Giraud and Muchenieks crashed, he made no mistake of the fact that they had agreed between them to try a fast line. Now watch Giraud here. He is closing down on Julian Veldman. I've been watching Veldman's body language, looking over his shoulder. He is thinking under that Dutch crash helmet, oh my goodness me, I've got that blooming hard Frenchman behind me. And a hard Frenchman he is as well. I was about to say, they decided that they would try to clear the triple between them. It was a mutually agreed decision, and they thought they could gain 2 seconds a lap. They tried it in the warm-up. It didn't come off. They clipped the third apex and somersaulted, injuring the spine of Elvis Muchenieks, who I'm pleased to say is up and about on his feet in hospital. It will be a long road back, though, Steve.
Of course, yes, it will be a long road to recovery, and we wish him all the best, as we do with all the injured riders, as we spoke about earlier in the programme with Daniel unfortunately getting injured whilst out sightseeing. All the best to Daniel and the injured riders, and let's hope to see you back on the track soon.
Well, let's hope that Giraud can preserve his passenger, Johnny Vadere, long enough to close down Julian Veldman. I don't have any favourites in this race at all, and I say that unequivocally. But what I will say is that if anybody deserves a break, it's Valentin Giraud.
Of course. A couple of times I've seen him just look across just to make sure Johnny's there where he needs to be, and possibly a little bit of encouragement from him. Again, their backs, you see, just working hard.
The reigning world champion. What a class act Etienne Bax is.
And of course his passenger, Kasper Stuplis, who is just an absolute machine.
Yeah.
Three world titles. He is, and at 36 years old, I think he is some feat.
You're quite right. I was about to check it is, but way back in the day, 2003, 2004, he was world champion passenger with Daniel Williamson.
Of course, that's where he won his first title.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah. You see Bax just overtaking one of the young English guys as a back marker. That's George Kinge and Dave Keane on the Zabel VMC. Managed to go through on the last chance qualifiers yesterday. So Giro is still with Veldman and Bax is coming. There's not a lot between them.
Van Lukener still looking good. He's still got that lead in the race, just about 1.5 seconds. So they haven't got away at all. If you look in the back of your picture now, you'll see Veldman coming over the top of the hill. There he is. No, he's not.
That's one of the.
That's one of the back markers.
Yep,
there's Veldman.
And there's Giro.
And there's Valentin Giro.
And of course now they're coming into the back markers, which makes it very difficult.
And I think Veldman, if anything, has pulled the pin a bit.
Yep.
Here comes Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans this is astonishing. From the back row, Koen Hermans up to 5th and will be pressuring Etienne Bax in the not too distant future, that's for sure. Stuart Brown, Joe Millard, here they come. They are in 6th place again, with very little chance, I would have thought, of closing down Koen Hermans now. But nonetheless, given that mishap, whatever it was, we don't know, and we'll maybe get a word with Joe Millard afterwards. This is an outstanding ride so far by the British crew.
Of course. By the looks of the way he was, he missed his footing into the D, which is just a very small area, just enough to get the ball of your foot into, as you can see there with the passengers. It is, you hit a bump, you hit a rut wrong or something, and it just slips off, and you just have to try and hang in there as best you can.
There's Veldman, and there's Giro. Giro now has wound him in again.
And Bax is there.
Bax
also.
is there. So these are 3 men for whom points are absolutely vital. These 2 warhorses, Giro and Etienne Bax, have locked horns so many times. This will be like a red rag to a bull to Etienne Bax, I can tell you. That pain from his shoulder will have disappeared all of a sudden. Maybe that's optimistic thinking, but nonetheless, he certainly seems to have turned the wick up.
This is the time will tell now with his with that injury, with these big long downhills into the bottom with the big braking bumps. This is the time. And also now, obviously Johnny Badair, the passenger from Valentin, is starting to feel.
He got in a bit early then.
Yeah, he's starting to feel the pressure.
It's a compromise, folks, between keeping the sidecar wheel down and giving the driver enough ballast on the back wheel to get the drive down as well. If you're too far out, the rear wheel will just spin up and it won't go anywhere. So it is a compromise.
And it's a very fine line between making these things go and not tip over.
Look at Etienne Bax. He can see Valentin Giro ahead of him, and the pair of them now, their battle. And I can tell you, Giro's pitboard will be telling him that Etienne Bax is breathing down his neck. He's almost so close he can smell his aftershave, if they bothered to put any on this morning. I doubt it. There's Giro.
I just noticed Valentin just look over there off that jump just to see what kind of gap they have behind him. So he will possibly let Bax through, and then...
Contact shoved Giro into the door. No blooming holds barred there, were there?
Nope.
Absolutely. Look at that. Valentin Giro shaking his head in disgust. That was a hard move, but Etienne Bax wanted it. No quarter asked, none given, straight through, bosh. Push Valentin into the loose stuff, and that's cost him dearly. So,
but I think he has enough of a gap to stay where he is. He's still in the points, still good points, and we have another race to go.
Look at Valentin, look at Etienne Bax on that downhill drop. Spectacular pictures from this beautiful countryside spot here. Cramelin track outside Nepomuk. The people have been so hospitable. They're long days, I can tell you. This organisation is second to none on this track, and the riders have said that the organising team put so much effort into making it happen. The fire brigade are here in force with their hoses, and we'll see copious watering in the interval. You can be sure.
It takes a lot to put one of these events on, and the Czechs, I must admit, do a very good job.
Van Lukenen still out in front there. The gap now significantly stretched. There, Giro is closing down on Bax again.
No,
he's not. That's a back marker. I bet that's a Bax marker. That's a 37, yeah. The red shirt threw me. Etienne Bax is away. He's past the tail ender.
That's the two local Czech guys on 37.
Pudlow, yeah. Well, he did well. To rapturous applause, he qualified yesterday.
The one I've not seen is Brett Wilkinson. How's the timing?
He's in 14th place. Okay.
So there's Valentin, still pushing on hard. Ben van der Bogart, the passenger from Marvin van der, just makes it look so effortless.
You can watch all the interviews and highlights and bits and pieces on sidecarcross.com as well if you haven't had your fill of live sidecar action here on Motorsport TV. Van Lukenen, well, you know, has that series championship trophy got his name written all over it already? I don't know. Early days, as I say. There, Julian Veldman. Etienne Bax now closing in his young compatriot.
These are the last, possibly what are the last 5 minutes now?
Yeah, we're into it. We're into the closing stages. Yep. I can tell you the one thing Etienne Bax doesn't have to worry about is Kasper Stupers.
No.
He knows the Ironman will be there.
The man is a machine, an absolute machine. He is a physical specimen. He is just a top athlete and a top nice guy also. I
was in their paddock having a chat with them before proceedings got underway this morning.
He's got under Veldman.
He has. That was a brilliant move.
I didn't see that coming. I did not.
Goodness me. Julian Veldman now in third. Etienne Bax up to second.
Oh, is Julian going to come back at him? No, not quite.
What's the gap then? What is the gap? We've got Van Lukenen lapping in his best time of 1:48.9. In a best time by Etienne Bax 49. Julian Veldman has matched the fastest time, but Valentin Giro in a good, strong fourth place there. Needs to now keep his powder dry and make sure
it's Herman's next.
Yeah, it's
5, and he's
coming.
He's coming also. There. Just gone through your shot there. Down to the bottom left. As we say, we're getting down to the final minutes.
Look at the dust digging up. Julian Veldman, number 10, over they go. They're the race leader, the red plate for the championship leader.
And this is the time now, the heart rates are up. Yeah. They are sweating profusely. And
Etienne Bax, surely a challenge for the win is not on here. You won't put it past him,
I wouldn't put it past him. I would not. It would be interesting to see the lap times as they get closer. But whether he's going to sit now into second and take that second place, I don't know. I think possibly is too far.
He did his fastest lap on lap 12, we're now 17 laps completed. So we must be into the closing stages of this race. 30 minutes gone, so we must be into the two-lap board now.
I would imagine next time, hopefully, when they come down through the...
Valentin Giro through, sorry to interrupt, Steve. Valentin Giro underneath the number 21, and that's Justin Corbin and Dion Rietman. And
as we get, 2 laps.
2 laps to go then. 2 laps to go. Has 1 lap. No, last lap. That was the back end of the 2-lap board. Marvin van Lukenen
Another minute to go, and this young Belgian with a young Dutchman beside him to take the win.
Yeah, it's a convincing victory here. Etienne Bax, there he goes, over the jump. There goes Julian Veldman. So Etienne Bax and Kasper Stupelis with a tail ender between themselves. And the race leader, Marvin van Leukenen and Ben van den Boogaard, from pole position, took the whole shot and led this race for its entirety.
Which takes some doing.
Which does take some doing. They are now on their way round the final lap to the checkered flag and victory.
Will Veldman try and attack Bax on this last lap? Maybe.
I think Etienne Bax has got that covered.
I think so.
I think he'll be considering that he's done an absolutely great job and the best possible job under the circumstances, given the speed of this crew and the way they perform.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And as you said twice before in this race, there's another race to come.
Exactly. We have to do this again for another 30 minutes and 2 laps. And of course they've got to try and recuperate, get water on board, food on board, and rest before they do it all again.
It's testimony as well to the machinery, the preparation of the machinery, the durability of the machinery, that it takes this pounding for these race distances in these ambient temperatures. It is warm outside.
It's very warm.
Checkered flag then for Marvin van Leukenen and Ben van den Boogaard, ahead of a valiant and miraculous second place Etienne Bax. Veldman, Giraud, there's the top 4, there's the top 5, 5 on the plate, 5th in the race for Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset.
That's a back marker.
And we will be waiting for 6th place, Stuart Brown and Joe Millard, the first of the left-handed sidecars. Still waiting for them. These are tail-enders.
But I think they still finished in the points. The tail-enders, they've been racing their own race to just score points.
Here we are, 6th place.
Looks as though Stuart had a problem. No front brake.
Okay.
Varric and Dadas, 15 Kunas brothers. Awesome ride from the 2 Kunas boys. Sanders finished. Weiss and Patrick Schneider in the chair.
You know, I can hear huge sighs of relief all the way round the circuit as these guys just say thank goodness for that. Thomas and Andre Chermak. Thomas and Andre Chermak brought it home in 13th place behind Arne Dierkens and 1 ahead of Brett Wilkinson and Lars Dalan.
And finished and started on 2nd row.
Yep, good effort for Thomas and Andre Chermak. There's Brett Wilkinson just going in behind them.
There's Stuart pushing the bike.
Problem there for Stuart Brown.
Let's hope not.
And Joe Millard.
Partners of WSC are Peugeot, TrueCam, BO Oil, Motorsport TV and Zabel. The main partner of the LAMAX Grand Prix of the Czech Republic is Beto Company Storage Systems. A big portion of adrenaline is brought to you by LAMAX Electronics, general partner LAMAX Grand Prix of Czech Republic.